Welcome to this module where we are going to be talking about the measurement of success. There is no success without aspiration, and in order for you to aspire for something, you need to set the goals or the target to aspire to. For some people, their goal is to be able to feed themselves and their families. Then there are others whose goals go beyond their family into the community. They want to be of influence to their immediate community. Yet still, there are others who have got a global perspective. This is the reason why some supermarkets have been stuck in one corner for decades, while other businesses have expanded to other towns, to other countries, and all over the world. This is why today you cannot think about computers and software without thinking of people like Bill Gates and IBM. You cannot think of a soft drink without thinking of Coca-Cola, because these companies and people, they set goals that went beyond their immediate environment. Whether your aspiration is local or global, we all start in one place. There is no business which just starts by having so many branches all over the world. We all start in a single location. Then we develop and perfect our management systems in that one place. Once that business is now functioning effectively and efficiently in that one location, it becomes easy to replicate that business to other locations. Many businesses suffer from what is called premature exposure. They let the world know about their products or service before they've actually perfected their service or product. As a result, when the world now tastes their products and they do not like the product, even if you come back after 5 years and tell them that we have now perfected the product, nobody will trust you anymore. So it is better for you to spend time developing your business in the first single location and make sure that you perfect the product, you perfect all your systems and processes, and once they are perfect, you can now think of expanding to bigger markets and expanding to more locations. Somebody said, you will never have a second chance to make a first impression. So you need to ask yourself first, before I market my product or my service, is it the best I could have done? Even if it takes you years to develop that product, take that time to develop it before you can expose it to the market. Because the moment your clients see your product and they do not like it, you as a business or a person is blacklisted for life. So you must identify a market segment that you use for testing your product or your service. You could test your product amongst your friends or your family. Let's say, for example, you want to start baking some cakes, or you are learning how to do manicure, you are doing people's nails, you are doing makeup. Start by doing it on the people that you know, who are not going to punish you for failing. Give your colleagues at work a taste of the cakes that you are baking so that they can give you an honest opinion about the quality of your product. Once you are sure that the product that you're producing is of good quality, then you can go out and expand your clientele. Once you have a good product, expansion is just a matter of resources. You simply need more money for more equipment and more personnel because you are no longer worried about the quality of the product. You must be able to assess the resources that you currently have in order to determine the volume of business that you can handle, because this is going to limit your aspirations as well. Let's say, for example, you want to start a car wash, but you only have 2 bays where you can wash cars. In other words, at any given time, there can be 2 cars parked for washing. And then you know that to wash each car, you need at least 30 minutes. Within that 30-minute slot, you can wash 2 cars, making it 4 cars per hour. So if you are working an 8-hour day times 4 cars per hour, then it means you have a total capacity of 24 cars. You cannot therefore print 10,000 flyers and distribute them throughout the city to generate business that brings you 100 cars per day, because your current capacity is only 24 cars per day. You need to plan your expansion gradually once you realize that the volume of your business is growing steadily. Because there are certain times when you get a lot of cars because there was an event next door. If you get excited and you suddenly build 5 more bays, then next month that event is no longer there. You go back to having only 2 cars per hour. The maximum capacity of your business determines the maximum revenue you can earn. In other words, if you can only wash 24 cars per day at $100 per car, then the maximum you can earn is $2,400. But remember, that is only a maximum. So your earning projections cannot be the maximum because you are not going to have customers every minute of the day. Therefore, a safe projection would probably be 40% or 50% of your total capacity. Many times when people come to me asking for a business plan, they will say, I need a business plan because I want to borrow $1 million from the bank. My response is always the same, that you do not start by determining or deciding the amount you want to borrow. Let's first create the business. Let's see what is the capacity of the business. Let's see first how much it is able to produce. Then we can see what it will take to set up that particular business. So many times businesses will fail because they've borrowed more money than they actually need, and they are overburdened by the interest on the loan. They end up using the remainder of the money to buy assets which are not useful for the business itself. This brings us to the actual measurement of success in a business. What are the indicators of success? And I'll say right from the start that a successful business is the one that is able to sustain itself without any external support. The moment you stop pumping in money from your salary into your small business and is able to run itself, paying its own expenses, paying its workers, and replenishing stock on its own, then your business is becoming successful. Society has got its own perception of what a business person must be like, what car they must drive, what type of clothes they must put on, which suburb they must stay in. So this tends to put pressure on small businesses because they want to achieve that status that society expects from them. As a result, the new business person starts upgrading their life using the money they borrowed for the business. In the end, they do not have enough money to finance the delivery of products or services because they've spent the money decorating themselves so that they meet society's expectations of what they should look like as a businessman or a businesswoman. You must be able to distinguish between what is the engine of your business and what is the upholstery of your business. A car is useless if the engine is broken down, but it has got new leather seats. On the other hand, a car which has got a new engine and cheap upholstery will perform the functions that it was built for. In the same way, there are business people who spend business money to upgrade themselves, to upgrade the car that they drive or the house that they stay in, while at the same time they are depriving the business of the money that it needs to operate from day to day. The success of your business is also determined by the extent to which you can maintain good relationships with your employees that are critical for production, sales, and product delivery. It is important to maintain good relationships with employees because when times are hard, they can assist you. If you are rigid and your employees only get better conditions through labor unions, then it means even when things are hard for you, they cannot bear with you. Because when you've got good relationships with your employees, they can even take pay cuts in order for your business to survive through times of difficulty. I said earlier on, a successful business is the one that can sustain itself. In other words, you have developed or grown your client base to a level where you have got sufficient regular clients that will buy enough products or service for you to pay all your overheads as well as operating expenses and either break even or even make a profit. The average business will make a profit of between 25 to 35%. Therefore, when you buy assets that are not related to the business, it means that you have got to sell a lot more in order to recover those profits that you have sunk in those inert or inactive assets. A simple example is if you are selling bread and your bread costs $10 and you sell for a profit of $1, in other words, you sell for $11. If your favorite uncle comes and you decide to give them a free loaf of bread, what that means is you have given them an investment of $10 that you made in buying that one loaf. So for you to recover that $10 investment, you need to sell another 10 loaves of bread at a profit of $1 each in order to generate a new loaf of bread. So that is why it is so dangerous to buy things that are not related to the business or to give away stock that you have bought for the purpose of reselling it. Because whatever you have given away must be replaced by profits that you are going to earn on the other stock that you had remaining. Many times, small businesses fail because the owner thinks that all the money that is paid by customers is their profit. You find this a lot in retail businesses and also in the transport business. When a taxi operator comes home at the end of the day, they have got a pile of money and it appears as if all of it is profit because they've already paid the driver for the day and they've paid for all the fuel for the day. But what happens is that after they've used that money for other things, the vehicle will now break down, or they will actually need to replace the vehicle because it is now old. That is when they discover that they do not have money for repairs and they do not have money for replacement of the vehicle. There's a module where I'm going to be discussing what I call the revenue, cash flow, and profit dilemma that small businesses face. We are going to be explaining the differences between these terms so that as a business person, you don't fall into this trap of being overexcited when you see cash coming into your business. You need to develop a sober personality that can continue as if nothing has happened, even when a lot of money has come into your bank account. As a business person, once you have determined what is required for the success of your business, you should only be driven and motivated from within yourself. You should never allow external forces or influences to force you to make decisions that you are going to regret later on. You are the only person who knows where you are coming from and where you are going. Therefore, don't succumb to the pressure of society that wants to see you driving an expensive car in order to prove that you are successful. You must know it for yourself and within yourself that you are going in the right direction. You do not need anybody else to tell you that you are doing well if you are a business person, because you are the one who knows the investments that you have made in terms of your money, in terms of your effort, and in terms of your time. So remember, the things that are visible, the things that you can see, like the nice cars, the nice offices, those are temporary. They can vanish in a moment. But when you invest in knowledge, you invest in business systems, those are foundations that nobody can ever take away from you. And when the storms come, your business is going to stand. In the next video, we are going to be talking about deciding on the type of business to start. This is where a lot of people get stuck, and many times they do not start any business because they cannot make up their mind if at all there is a business in which they can succeed. So I'll see you in the next module.